Hello everyone, and I'm so happy to be with you today, and I'm very excited to do this video. I was reading a book the other day and I just felt like my top 15 best books of the year list and my 10 worst books of the year list was just so jam-packed that I have to do them now, before I do any others. I wanted to do it at the end of the year, but still, they're just so jam-packed and I'm so excited to do this video with you right now. So anyway, let's get started. Oh, but before we do, this is going to be split into two parts because I tend to oversay some stuff and I don't know, I think that you'd prefer watching two 15-minute videos rather than a whole 30-minute or 25-minute video, however long it is. So anyway, let's get started. Coming in at number 15 is Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. And let me just say, Dorothy Must Die might be the best book title I've ever heard of. It is very significant. It really reminds you of The Wizard of Oz. It shows that it's a Wizard of Oz retelling. It's exciting, and it doesn't say exactly why Dorothy must die, but the idea that a character we love so much must, well, I'm not going to draw a map for you. It's immediately gripping. I thought about this book until I bought it and read it, and well, I have to warn you that there are some early character deaths that I didn't like, and there's a bit of false advertising, but other than that, the writing really kept my attention. Danielle Page knows how to make a sparkly but macabre, if that's how you say it, Oz, and it's so admirable. It's just a delicious treat to read. And as a result, I immediately read The Wicked Will Rise. I didn't think it was quite as good, but it wasn't so bad that it detracted from how much I like Dorothy Must Die. So Danielle Page has made two very solid entries. Dorothy Must Die is the better one if you ask me, but yeah, it's enough to really get me excited for Yellow Brick War and the end of Oz. Now coming in at number 14 is Gabe Johnson Takes Over by Geoff Herbach. This was kind of an underwhelming story compared to some of the others on this list, but I liked it just because it has a very fun and, well, hilarious past tense. Gabe is basically, well, on trial for stealing some money from the pop machine, and you listen to his story as if you're his lawyer, Mr. Rodriguez, and, well, it's actually kind of, well, sad how his story goes, and this was originally titled Fat Boy versus the Cheerleaders. It really emphasizes on how Gabe is very chubby and he wants to try to exercise, but he's succumbed to always having like 3 bottles of this Code Red pop a day. Just the thought of drinking that much pop just made me nauseous, very effectively nauseous, but in a good way. So it's a lot of fun and it's very nicely progressive watching him try to get into shape, and I love the friendship development as well. And I like how, yes, it antagonizes cheerleaders, but in the end it makes up for itself and, well, slyly aware of itself. Yeah. That didn't sound very good, but I guess it's still going to be in the video. Now, you probably saw this coming from somewhere. Number 13 is Michael Vey, Fall of Hades. You know, I am guilty as charged by saying that I thought that the 5th book was a little bit too much of a prelude, but if Fall of Hades is the result of it kind of staggering a little bit, then I can forgive it. And hey, at least both books had Austen's very funny and kind of disturbing trivia. That's always a treat to read. You know, the Michael Vey books are all books you just never want to end. Every page you usually really love, but you don't want that page to go through because you want to just keep reading and you don't want to wait an entire year for it. And let me just say that Michael Vey, Fall of Hades has an amazing last few pages. Well, actually I should say last 60 pages. To put it in short, they're better than the end of the second book, Rise of the Elgin, which is one of my favorite books of all time. Now, at the start, there is this breakup-esque thingamajig that I didn't really like, but then the book really makes up for it. It deletes any flaw I had with it, and, well, just Michael Vey, Fall of Hades is one of my brand new favorites, and, well, Yeah, I was worried that it wouldn't have enough time to fulfill all my expectations and fulfill all the story elements it set up for itself, and that we would have to just wait till the last book to find out all of the questions, but nope. Nope, this book really understands that it's a game changer, and I can't wait to see how it all finishes up. Now coming in at number 12 is a book that I gave 3.75 out of 4 stars to, and I gave Michael Bay Fall of Hades and what's going to be number 11 a 3.5, but I lowered my grade because I don't really love this as much as the other books I've given 3.75 out of 4 to. To explain, there's 3.5 and 4. It's when I'm not sure of one of them, but in the end that usually means it's a 3.75. But anyway, coming in at number 12, you might have expected this one, is Firefight by Brandon Sanderson, the sequel to Steelheart. So what I loved about Steelheart was its intense mystery of what Steelheart's weakness is. We got to see Steelheart being shot and hurt, but we just never knew why he was hurt that time and was never hurt again. And, well, Firefight has an even better mystery and an even better setting. Brandon Sanderson is amazing at world building. First, there was, well, if I'm right, Chicago as New Chicago, and it was just it was put entirely to steel. In Firefight, you're in New York City and known as Babelar now, and it's sunken with all of this glowing fruit, glowing paint, and this epic that can see through the water no matter where you are. Just it got very disturbing, but just very imaginative. And, well, the twist up, well, it convinced me to buy Calamity on hardcover because I couldn't wait to see what would happen, which I gave 3 stars to. So, yeah, even though I don't really love Firefight as much as I did after I put it down, yeah, how can a book like this not be on the list? Now coming in at number 11 is Incinerator by Niall Leonard. And if you don't know what this is, because I don't think these books are very popular, it's the sequel to this book, Crusher. I mentioned it in my January wrap-up before. So yeah, both of these books are amazing. Both of these are mystery novels. But in Crusher there was an ending that I thought, what? But still, it was so incredible, and both of these are so action-packed. They're about a boy named Finn McGuire who is dyslexic, and, well, he can't keep work, and he's punching and crunching his way through a violent and upset London. And, well, in Incinerator, I think this takes place a few months after Crusher, but yeah, there's never a time where we feel Finn is not in danger, and, well, and the characters might not be so developed, but that's sort of good, because all of these could be who is behind this, one of the biggest thefts I've ever read about, and it's very upsetting after he gets the money from the first installment. And, oh, but I also wanted to just say that this is a mystery, but Niall Leonard seems to be the best at fight scenes. I could visualize every scene perfectly, and there's a scene where it also feels like a prison escape book. And I love prison escape stories, generally. Now, coming in at number 10 is Golden Sun, the second book in the Red Rising trilogy. You know, I gave Red Rising a 2.5 out of 4, which is enough to recommend, usually. It's either a B- or C+ in letter form, but anyway, I felt like it was the most brutal book I had read all year, and it still is the most brutal book I've read all year. And I felt like it did drag often, but I couldn't stop reading, and then I decided, well, it all builds up towards Golden Sun, and I want to see what happens with Darrow and Cassius, so I borrowed book 2 from my library. I had found Red Rising just when I was just skimming, and I decided, what the hey, I'm gonna try this out. So yeah, wow. Just wow, Golden Sun takes everything to the next level in every way possible. Especially the characters. I felt like there was an overabundance of characters in Red Rising, but now I think I really get them more. I like that Darrow isn't the best protagonist ever, and when he starts this civil war and that he has a team, it's just, I couldn't believe Pierce Brown had the ability to do something as big as he did. And, well, I think that it's sort of impossible not to get a little upset when Darrow is ambushed at the start and he's fired, and all the stuff that happens for Red Rising apparently is for nothing, but he doesn't let it be that way. And I guess I was liking it just okay during the first third, but then when we find out about how Tactus had this violin of his and he was going to play it, but we thought he had just thrown it away, and just why did Tactus have to die? I really don't know why he had to die. And this action scene where the gravity is put up and all of our heroes might be drowning. Oh my god. Just basically, this is an action book, and the ending was so terrifying that my hands were shaking, and they stayed shaking for 2 hours. And not just for all of, well, you know what, I'm not gonna spoil it, just, yeah. Golden Sun. So I think we'll stop it there for part 1, and now you can just go right to part 2 if you want to. Now you're gonna see my top, 9. Maybe I should have stopped at number 10, but, yeah.